the Aligned Yoga Method Flow, brought to you by Sarah Wheeler today. I'm going to be guiding you through some breathing and the asanas of this Aligned Yoga Method Flow, and I hope you can follow along and enjoy. Okay, so we're going to begin in an easy pose, seated with our legs crisscrossed and sitting nice and tall. And I am sitting kind of at an angle so that when we get to some of the standing poses, you'll be able to see the positions of my legs. But you can be aligned forward. So sitting in our easy pose, tall spine, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, feeling into the sit bones on the mat, hands easy on the knees. We're going to begin by just checking in with our breath. We'll go through a count of inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. And I'm going to guide 3 rounds of that, and you can continue at your own pace if you would like. So sitting nice and tall, in through the nose. 2, 3, 4, and exhale slowly through the mouth. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. So continuing along with the breath, just allowing your body to arrive in this space, arrive in this present moment, letting your spine sit up tall, while you're also bringing a sense of relaxation and calm. And really just tuning your attention into the breath as the mind begins to wander as it does. Just coming to that sensation and maybe a visual of the breath moving in and out of your body. And now, keeping eyes closed or batting them gently open, we're going to begin by slightly leaning forward and then to the right, back, and to the left. So creating some circles in the trunk, just warming up the spine. These can be small or large circles, whatever feels good to you and your body. And that is such the importance of the yoga practice, checking into you and what you need right now. Noticing any sensations, and moving in the direction that feels good. So as we're going around in these circles, using our breath to guide. Inhale through the front, exhale coming around. And let's change directions here. Going the other way. And again, following with that breath. And coming back to center, sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna drop hands, arms down to the sides, palms facing up, and inhale as we bring arms up above your head, and exhale, flowing down. One more time, inhale, imagine grabbing all that good fresh breath and air, and then this time as we exhale, we're gonna turn to the right into a twist. Right hand comes behind you to push into the mat to create a nice, tall, long spine, left hand on your knee. And then let your head look behind you. Inhale, sit taller. Exhale into the twist. One more. Inhale, tall. Exhale into the twist. Inhale, bringing arms up and switching sides. Exhale as the left hand comes behind you. Right hand on the knee this time. Pushing into the mat to give a more upright position. Inhale. Sit up tall through the crown of your head. Exhale, look behind you into the twist. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bringing arms back up to center. Now dropping your right hand down to the mat, arching towards the right side, creating length in the left side body. Breathing into all those spaces in the ribs, all the way from the hip bone to the pinkies. Hand can be up here or down on the elbow, whatever feels good to you. Just keeping this hip bone, tailbone space on the mat. And inhale, exhale, moving back through center, and then moving to the left side. Stretching through the side body of the right. Again, as you inhale, imagining the space between each rib, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. Coming back up to seated. Bringing hands in front of you, we're gonna make our way into a tabletop. So our tabletop, hands on the mat, toes curled. And then bringing your knees wide as the mat, toes together, sending hips back, coming into a child's pose. So letting your fingertips walk forward and then gently bringing your forehead down onto the mat. Feeling the stretch all the way through the arm bones, shoulders, and then letting your forehead really sink into the mat. Imagining any busy thoughts just flowing back into the ground. You no longer need them. And one more breath here. Then bring your hands to the right side of the mat. The right hand can maybe even come off the mat. Left hand goes on the top. And we're stretching through the QL, which is in the lower back here. Just letting your breath rise and fall. And then walking over to the other side onto the left. Inhale and exhale. Coming back up to tabletop position here, bringing your knees about hip width apart. Knees are directly below the hips, hands directly below the shoulders, and head is looking down at the mat. Your belly button or core is drawn in up towards the spine. We're gonna flow through some cat and cow positions here. So as we inhale, push through the mat, open the chest, sending the bottom or tailbone into the air. This is our cow for the inhale, gazing up at the ceiling. And exhale as we push through the arms, rounding the back, the head and neck fall to look between the space between your legs. And then following your breath at your own pace, let's move back and forth through a couple of these cat-cow positions. And then inviting any other movement into the lower back and hips. You can do some circles or creating an S motion here. Just warming up that lower back and the spine. And then coming back into center, keeping your knees and feet right where they are, pressing the tops of your feet into the mat. So you then walk your hands out, coming into a puppy pose. Head comes down onto the mat. Nice long arms. Ears are in line with your arms here. This is the same position as that downward dog arms. One breath, and then walking hands in, placing hands on the mat. We're gonna send hips high, coming into our first downward facing dog. An upside down V position. Staying on your toes, let's pedal it out. Your hands are a little wider than shoulder width apart. Finding the connection of the fingertips and the palms, really putting your weight into the pointer finger and the thumbs. And then finding some stillness in your downward facing dog. Hips high, nice long spine. Then let's walk our feet to meet our hands, coming into a forward fold. And I like to have our first forward fold with our knees generously bent, grabbing your elbows, swaying side to side, letting your head and neck fall here. And then placing our hands, really grounding in all four corners of your feet. Hands out to the side, adding a bend, root to rise, coming up nice and tall, mountain pose. Taking a breath here in your mountain pose, an option to close the eyes. Just checking in with this sensation of standing. Taking up space, grounded through the feet. Maybe if you haven't already, bringing an intention into your practice for today. Something like being present or feeling the calm relaxation. Or maybe something else you're inviting into your life, abundance, joy, love. And inhale as we raise our arms forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands come off the shins to a halfway lift. Finding a nice flat back here. And then exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and step back to a plank position. In our plank, our hands are right below those shoulders. Same position of the hands as downward facing dog. On the toes, core engaged. And then bringing elbows into the body as we slowly lower down using your knees if needed. Chest all the way into the mat. Now in this first position, first time through our sun salutation, we're gonna bring our arms back, toes off the mat, and a slight chest opener as we come forward. Exhale, down, hands planted, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Inhale, gaze forward, step or hop to the front of your mat. And inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale as we come down, planting the hands, stepping back to plank. Squeezing elbows all the way down. Option for chaturanga here, or just lowering down. And then pushing up into a baby cobra or cobra, or all the way to upward facing dog. Down, tucking toes, planting feet, coming all the way back down. Inhale, gaze forward, step or hop. This time, keeping our knees bent, we're gonna raise up into chair and go through a sun salutation B. So we're in our chair here. Exhale, forward fold. Planting hands, step back to plank. Chaturanga down. And this part right here is our flow. So as we go through the practice, I'll mention the flow. And this is this set of movements, moving through plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now from here, we're gonna bring toes to touch, raising your right leg into the air, keeping hips parallel, bending the knee as you plant it forward, coming into a low lunge. Arms come up, crescent lunge, and lowering down, plant the hands, step back into our flow. Plank, lowering down, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, down, tucking toes, up through plank, hips high. Now sending our left leg into the air, bending the knee, planting it forward, low lunge, and coming up to a crescent lunge here, and lowering hands down, coming through plank, down, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward dog, tucking your toes, sending hips high to downward dog. And this time, we're going to keep our toes together, raising our right leg into the air, bending the knee, coming into a crescent lunge here. One breath. And then bending the back leg, our left leg, any amount, bringing that knee onto the ground, closer to the ground. Then bringing our hands through prayer. Bending at the torso and then straightening your leg, feeling that line of energy all the way back. And then we're gonna twist. Option to stay upright or bringing your elbow down to your knee. Our revolved crescent lunge here. You can open the arms if that feels good. One breath. Then coming back through center. Arms up, and then opening through a warrior two. So warrior two here. My back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. And my front foot is pointing forward, watching that knee is in line with the second toe. Chest is nice and wide and open. And I'm looking off the front of my fingertips. Then bending the front elbow as we come down. This is extended angle. Reaching overhead. Coming back through warrior two. Reverse warrior, we're gonna send the left arm down. Reaching up and then bend deeper into that front knee. Coming back through warrior two. Now, moving this back leg up a little bit. Getting ready to put our weight onto the front right leg. Going into a half moon. So we're gonna lean forward and then come off, reaching down for our balancing. Hands can come to the floor or a block here. And I know I'm turned away from you, but show it from this angle. And then your head can look up, those top fingertips. Bending the front knee and gently coming back to warrior two. Then cartwheeling your arms down. Option to go through your flow or sending it right back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Bringing toes to touch and lifting the left leg high this time. Shifting the weight forward onto the hands and planting your foot. Using your hands to come through, then right up to our crescent lunge with the left foot forward. Taking a breath here. Feeling the alignment. Pinkies forward, thumbs back. Imagine a beach ball. Getting some pressure this way, really firing up those arms. Then bend in that back right knee. Hands come down through prayer. And the same time that your torso leans forward, straighten that back leg. Now we're going to twist to the left side, staying upright or bringing your elbow down. Option to open your arms if you did that on the other side. One breath. Coming back through. Arms up to crescent lunge. Then opening up to warrior two. So same thing on this side, checking in. Back foot parallel to the back of the mat. And then your front left foot pointing forward. Knee is open, or the hips are open, so that your knee is right in line with that second toe. Then a nice open chest looking off those front fingertips. Inhale. On the exhale, bending that front elbow, coming down onto the knee for an extended side. Right arm reaches over. Extended side angle. And then coming back through your T-arms. Right arm comes down the back of the leg, reverse warrior. Really stretching through that side body, keeping your hips nice in line. And back to our T-arms. Putting weight in that front leg and bringing this right leg up a little bit. Preparing to take off. And if you do wobble, just keep trying. Or lift off this leg. And then slowly come down. Our hips and chest are open to the wall. If you need a block or hand can come all the way down. And then head and neck look to those top fingertips. Bending the front knee as you place the back foot. Back through warrior two. Then cartwheeling hands down. And going back through your flow or right up to downward dog. And we're going to bring ourselves into a plank position. Hands right underneath those shoulders, nice strong core. And then bringing in your left hand and pressing weight through your left, we're going to pivot to a side plank. So stacking feet and then opening through that chest, the right arm into the air. Head looks up. And this side plank, option to drop the knee or lifting this back leg. Just keeping that weight through the front left arm. One more breath. And then gently coming back down into plank as we go onto the other side. Right hand, and then opening. Bring your knee down if needed. Back leg up into the air. And coming back through our plank. Sending hips high. Coming into a downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Take a breath. And then walking your hands to the back to meet your feet. And then tick-tocking, opening your feet nice and wide, toes off the mat. Bending through the knees as we come down into a yogi squat. So opening our hips so our knees are aligned with those second toes. Hands can come to a prayer, pressing into the knees. And then engaging this lower pelvis area so you don't drop in. Chest is nice and open. Big breaths as we begin to create some fire here. This would be the option where you can place hands down, coming into a crow. Crow position, we make contact with the upper arm to the knee, really pressing hands in, making a point of contact forward, and then shifting and lifting one foot at a time, and playing around with this crow here. Or, if that's not in your practice, you could go into a twist here, opening through a yogi squat twist, and to the other side. And then pressing, legs straight, shake it out. Really grounding in those feet as we roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Zombie arms, letting your shoulders be the last thing to come up and roll out. Bringing feet in a little bit. We're going to go up onto our tippy toes, palms open. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. We're going to tiptoe to the top of the mat here. Having a nice drishti or point of gaze. And once you get to the top of the mat, I'll move back so you can see me. We're going to send our hips back, knees about hip width apart, coming into a chair. So imagining somebody's pulling a chair behind you. Hips are back. Weight is on the heels. Toes should be able to come up. You can keep hands at your hips to check in, or nice above your head. Again, pinkies forward, thumbs back. Kind of that beach ball position. Pressing in. Bringing hands through prayer, dropping a little bit deeper and bending over. We're going to twist to the right side. Making contact with that elbow, watching that you don't drop, but both knees stay forward. Option to open the arms here. Coming back through center. And then the other way, other direction. Opening arms. This would be an option where you could do some side crow also. So in that chair, you would drop down and position yourself. We're not going to do that today. Standing nice and tall, coming into a mountain pose. Turn this way for these ones. We're going to go into some one-legged balancing. So first, just finding that posture in our mountain pose. Our foundation, checking in that there's a micro bend in the knees. Pelvis is not tipped too forward or back, but nice and neutral. Shoulders are dropped down, palms open, chin is tucked, almost like you have a little orange or clementine right there. We're going to ground into our left foot, using your hand if needed to come up to tree. You can stay here, coming all the way up. And then playing around with your branches, so you can come into a prayer position, out to the side, or all the way up. Most importantly, finding a place on the wall to look at, and sending your breath there, and lifting out of those hips, as if a string is pulling you up. One more breath. Bringing hands down gently, and holding onto the foot. We're going to bring it across, bending in that supporting leg, coming into a fourfold. And hips are sent back, almost like that chair position. You feel a nice stretch through that back leg here, keeping chest open. One more breath. And raising up, shake it. Grounding through your right foot, tree on this side. Using your hand to bring your foot up. And then branches all the way up. Lifting out of those hips. It's going to come here. And coming back through prayer as you hold onto your foot, bringing it across your body, bending down. And coming out, arms up. Option to go through a vinyasa flow here, going through your downward dog, plank, or just staying nice and tall. We're going to do some more balancing. So from here, grounding into your left leg. If there's options to use a strap for this little set, but we're going to do it without a strap. We're going to use our core, engaging our core, to lift the right leg off the ground, creating a 90-degree angle, 90, 90, 90. Flex foot, standing nice and tall. Can straighten that leg, bend it, straighten, bend it. Then bringing arms out to the side for a little extra balance. We're going to open the knee to the side. You can make contact here. Options also to grab onto the foot and open. That's me showing off a little bit. Surprised myself. And then coming through center and crossing the body, keeping your chest nice and straight. Just a slight twist in the lower back. Then coming back through center, we're going to move into warrior 3. So bringing hands to prayer to help, and then tilting forward, sending the right foot back, and then as if you're pressing into the back wall, foot is flexed. Hands can come out to the side for warrior 3. We're looking right down at the mat. Or making contact with your thumbs and drawing a line up through the armpits, then all the way overhead. One nice breath here, and then lowering down. Awesome, shake out that foot, maybe do a little counter ankle stretch, and then grounding through the right to repeat on this side. So hands out to the side or on your hips. Bringing that leg forward or up, and then straightening, and then opening to the side. Option to grab the foot. Don't have as good balance on this side. Grabbing the foot, opening, coming down, and across your body. Again, trying to keep your shoulders, chest straight. And then coming back. Watch out for this window. Hands on the hips, and then bending forward as if you're pressing that back foot right up to the wall. Foot is flexed. That will help with your balance. Hands can come out to the side or drawing up overhead. One breath. And then coming back down and shaking feet out here. Okay. Meet me at the back of your mat. We're going to go arms up and down into a downward dog. Downward dog, pedal it out. You can move through your flow if you'd like. I'm going to start on my left leg for this part so that I can face you first. Bringing your toes together, lifting the left leg into the air. Bending that left knee and then letting the foot pull it open, opening through that hip space. And then bringing your knee back in, shifting weight forward into your hands, hover, and then placing your foot on the ground, coming all the way up into a crescent lunge. From our crescent lunge here, we're going to open right up to a warrior 2. Checking in with warrior 2, one breath here. And then tipping forward. So maybe even a little reach, and then tipping down, straightening that front leg. Coming into triangle pose. Letting your head look up. Hand can be on your foot, a block here. And then bending through that front leg to come back out. And turning both feet to face this side of the mat. Toes turn out, almost like a wide second position. And then from here, we're going to keep our pelvis nice and straight like we're up against a wall, and we're just bending at our knees. Dropping those knees, dropping our knees down, keeping them open, knee over toes. And then bringing your hands up to a goal pose. Coming into our goddess pose here. Nice open chest, legs engaged, core engaged. Feeling the fire of the burn, stick with it. Continue to check in with your breath. Nice inhale, exhales through the nose. And then pressing legs straight, arms straight. And then folding forward into a wide-legged fuller fold. Feet can turn out here. And then going side to side. Just kind of whatever feels good in this forward fold. And then walking hands to the front and turning our hips and both feet to face forward. Like they're on a railroad track, both toes pointed forward. And this is our pyramid. In pyramid, our legs are straight. I like to have 2 blocks here so that you can get a nice flatter back. So like here, or even keeping hands on your hips. And then your head is nice and neutral looking down. Planting your right hand into the mat, we're gonna go into a revolve triangle. So we're twisting towards that front leg. Left arm comes into the air. One breath, and then coming down, planting hands, moving through your flow. Nice little reset before going on to the other side. And pressing hips up, downward dog. All right, bringing toes together, lifting your right leg, bending the knee to open, and then coming through, planting to a crescent lunge on this side, and then raising arms all the way up, and opening into a warrior 2. I'm gonna do the other side again, so that you can see what I'm doing, but you would have the right foot forward. So we're here, then we're going through that triangle again with the right forward, tilting, and then coming back up. Turning both feet towards this side of the mat, bringing them a little bit closer. This time both feet are gonna be parallel to the edges of the mat. We're gonna go into a lying squat. So bringing our hands to our hips. First, we're gonna create a hinge from the hips. So we're sending our hips back, weight over the chest, keeping our weight on the heels, and then bending your knees, pressing outward with the legs as if you're pulling the mat apart. Core is nice and engaged, chest is high, hands can stay here, it can come down, even a goal post, or all the way over. Just keeping that nice tailbone back as if someone's pulling you. And then inhale nice and tall, and exhale, forward fold. So this time in our forward fold, I'm gonna bring arms out to the side and clasping at the back. If that's too much for you, you can just keep hands on the lower back here. So what we're doing is opening the chest. So if you're clasping here, opening that chest, deep breaths. And then using a little bend in your knees and your arms to pull you up. Actually, we're gonna stay down because we're gonna go into pyramid. So, pyramid on the right side this time. I'm gonna switch my legs. We have our right foot forward, both feet turned, all parallel, and then stretching through both legs straight. Head and neck drop. Planting your left hand, we're gonna go into a revolved pyramid, revolved triangle, opening to the side. And bringing your hand down, pressing back through plank. And this time lowering all the way down onto your belly and turning your cheek to the right side. So your cheek comes all the way down to the mat. Toes can come uncurled so they're pointed. Arms to the side. And just taking a moment to breathe here. We're gonna prepare for an aligned extension. So we're gonna lift back up. Our head is neutral, face looking at the mat. And then toes are pointed, coming off the mat. So just our hip bones and our stomach are on the mat here. And we're fully engaged from the toes all the way through the back of the legs, glutes, whole posterior chain. And then sticking your thumbs out, we're going to draw a line up the side of your body. You can stop right here. Taking deep breaths, you should feel that belly into the earth, into the mat. And then hands can come out making little teepee tent or fully extended. And then bringing back down, turning your head the opposite way, laying down full relaxation. Taking a couple breaths here. And then bending at your knees. We're going to reach our hands back for our ankles. Keeping head neutral, the same as that last position. And we're going to press up, coming into a floor bow. Nice open chest, lifting the calves off. Deep breaths. And then lowering down, legs extended. Pressing hands onto the mat. We're going to press up into a tabletop position. So our tabletop again, we have our knees right below our hips, hands right below our shoulders. We're going to tuck our toes and come into a little hover. So our knees are going to come off a couple inches, engaging the core, looking down at the mat so we're parallel back and spine, and then lowering down. We're going to reposition our left hand in a little bit just for that center of gravity. Then extending our right arm out, and then opposite leg. So left leg, right arm, watching that your hips are neutral. And breathe. Imagine somebody pulling your fingertips and your feet apart. Nice long spine. And coming down, switching to the other side. Left arm extended, right leg back. Deep breaths. And planting down. We're going to come up onto a standing kneel. So our standing kneel here, we're going to go into an aligned hinge, just like we did that aligned squat. We're just working with the hips and the pelvis here as we send it back. Weight, of course, does go into those feet, keeping chest forward. Now, option here to raise your toes off the mat. So you're engaging your core more, sending hips back. An option to bring hands all the way up. And breathe. And then coming back down. Going into our aligned camel. We're going to bring our hands onto our chest like crossed. And we're going to really engage our whole legs and core. And then leaning back at the knees. And hovering here. You can go through a couple back and forth. Then our full camel, bring our hands, we'll start with a half. We'll bring both hands to the lower back. Keeping your right hand on the lower back and then bending. Left hand is going to reach for that foot. So this is our half camel. Neck can stay here or gently gaze back. And then if you'd like to drop your right hand too, really gauging the core, looking up gently at the ceiling. Then to come out of this, taking one hand off and at least as if somebody's grabbing your hand to come forward, nice and slow. Awesome. And moving through a flow or vinyasa. And then kneading back and downward facing dog. Pedal it up. Downward facing dog here. We're going to bring both feet together, raising our right leg into the air. We're going to go through some flying pigeons. So we're going to shift our weight forward into the hands as your knee bends and hovers. First in between both hands, and then send it back, sending your right foot into the air. Bending again, bringing the knee to the outside of that right arm. Sending it up. Then crossing the body, the right knee comes to the left. Send it up. And this time we're going to bring our knee in, planting it onto the ground, Extending that back left leg, coming into a pigeon. So in pigeon here, our knee is bent. Trying to keep our weight, we're not dropping here. Keeping weight here. Chest is nice and open. You can stay upright or go into a forward fold. But first, giving a second to elevate the spine, lengthen the spine, and then bending down. Arms come in front of you, creating a little cradle for your head. Nice inhales and exhales. This is a nice position to stay in for multiple breaths, but we're gonna move on. This is also where you could set up for a king pigeon. A couple of different options for king pigeon is that this back leg bends and you're reaching behind you. You can keep hand on the mat or up into the air, opening the chest. Just gives an extra stretch. I know you can't see it back there, but nice extra stretch there. All right, and then planting hands, we're gonna step back, sending legs, downward facing dog, pedal it out. Bringing toes to touch, we're gonna repeat to the other side. Left leg up, and then weight shifts forward, knee comes in the center. Send it back, knee comes to the side. Send it back, knee comes to the opposite elbow. Send it back, and then bending and extending nice and long. First, sitting up nice and tall. You can use a block under the bottom. You can use blocks in front of you, a bolster in front of you. This back leg, if that's too much, you can even bring it up to seated here. And then forward folds coming down. Couple breaths there. And then wrapping this leg around, bringing both feet in front of you, knees bent, sitting on your bottom. Bring our hands to our side, going into a bow position, or boat. So we're gonna bring our feet off the ground, arms open, really engaging that spine, open chest, bringing scapula together. Staying here, can straighten legs. Sorry, arms above, or even going into a twist, side to side. Then dropping your feet down to the mat and extending legs nice and long. Sitting up nice and tall in our staff pose. It helps if you bring your hands to your side. You can give a little push. My arms are really long, so I do like a bent elbow to kind of push and open the chest here. And then engaging at the calf so your heels lift up. You can even do a couple little calf lifts here. And then reaching all the way up, pinky forward, thumb back, forward fold, reaching for those legs, the feet, or even just the mat. Then letting the head and neck drop wherever you're at. And sitting back up, bending your right knee and coming into a half forward fold. Then lifting arms up again and dropping down, really stretching through that back leg, the lower back. For a little extra side stretch through here, you can even reach across the outer side of that leg. And then seated back up. We're gonna stay on this side, bringing our right leg over, giving it a little hug in, sitting nice and tall. And then twisting towards the right, so we're twisting across our body, right hand behind us. Sitting up nice and tall, revolve seated twist, or the half Lord of the Flies. Looking behind. Deep breaths, even with this twisted position, creates a little different sensation in that chest and stomach area. And then gently unwinding and holding on to front of your leg and your foot, little cradle of the leg, or rock the baby. Do little circles just to kind of move that area. And then sending your legs nice and long. And we're going to bend both feet, hands behind you. We're going to press our hips up, coming into a reverse tabletop. Letting that neck just be gentle. We're really squeezing at the glutes here. Feet are about hip width apart. And then gently lowering down, extending our right leg out, bending your left, repeating on this side. So first sitting nice and tall, and bending forward fold. Drawing back up, bringing your left knee over, giving a nice little hug and twisting. Left arm comes behind you, pushing through the floor for length, and then twisting through the neck, the upper T-spine. It's even stretching in that whole glute and lateral side of the leg. And then untwisting here and holding at the front shin and the foot. Cradling, rocking side to side. And then planting your left foot down. This time we're going to bring the hands beside us again, pointing those toes. We're going to press up to a reverse plank. So legs stay nice and straight. Pressing through the shoulders, scapula coming together, open chest. Glutes, core engaged, and then gently lowering down. We're going to bend both of our legs and make our way laying onto our backs. So we're lowering down here, coming onto our back. Hands, palms down to the mat. We're going to walk our feet in a little bit closer. You can make contact with the hands to the ankles. And then we're going to press up through a bridge. So keeping knees hip width apart, not letting them fall in, and squeezing through the glutes. We're going to send hips nice and tall, coming onto those shoulders. Option to roll the shoulders under a little bit, and then bringing hands on the inside of your ankles. Pressing up and holding. Then unrolling your shoulders here. And gently, vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling down in your bridge. Then bringing the soles of your feet together as both of your knees open, coming into a reclined butterfly. Palms can turn open, or even bringing your hands onto your inner thighs for a little extra pressure here. And we're beginning our calming down series of this class. So just letting your body enjoy that contact with the mat, beginning to slow your breath. We're going to go through one more bridge, planting feet again, walking them in a bit, and then squeezing glutes, sending hips high. Options here to bring a foot in. You can raise one leg off the ground and the other, or just staying in your bridge. And then again, slowly rolling vertebrae by vertebrae. Opening knees, coming back to reclined butterfly. Taking a couple breaths here. And then slowly, using your core, bring knees back. We're going to draw our knees into our chest, giving ourselves a little hug, rocking side to side. And then sending feet up into the air, pressing into the ceiling. Options to lift hands too. This is our waterfall position. So we're just letting all the blood circulation switch directions, super relaxing and calming. If you have a wall, putting your legs up against the wall, then you can just release any of that strengthening you're using. Just taking deep breaths into the belly area, into the back body that's resting against the mat here. And then really slowly, slowly bending the knees, coming back into a ball. And then letting your knees drop to the right side, coming into a spinal twist. You can stay here or opening and straightening the top leg, straightening the bottom leg, using a block under the knee, and bringing your arms to a T. And for the full twist, looking in the opposite direction. And staying here for a few breaths. And then gently coming back with your knees bent and switching to the other side. Dropping, straightening that bottom leg using a block. And then arms out to a T, dropping your head towards the right side. And then tucking in again, giving yourself one last little back massage, roll around. We're going to move into Shavasana, so letting both legs come nice and long, and pointing toes, stretching arms above your head, engaging everything, squeezing all your muscles, breathing into the pelvic region, and then slowly relaxing with an exhale as you let your feet fall away, opening at your hips, bringing your arms back down to your side, palms open. Options to use props under the knees or an eye pillow. Just letting yourself come into the full melt, full relaxation, letting the mind wander, but using the breath to come back to this stillness, this calmness. And you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. I like to do a meditation at this time. But I'm going to cue us to move to a fetal position, resting on your side for one breath here. And then keeping eyes closed if you'd like, slowly pushing up into a seated position, coming back to the easy pose that we started in. Bringing one hand to your chest, one hand to your stomach. Taking a nice big inhale together. And exhale with some sound. Inhale, filling up. Exhale. Thank you so much for practicing today, and I hope you enjoyed my video. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.